Part of the disconnect between men and women on the issue of sexual assault is that men have a very different definition of rape than women do. In concept, men agree that rape is wrong. The problem is when men are picturing rape, they're picturing a strange man in a dark alley holding a woman down and assaulting her very violently. That's why the Brock Turner case is almost a unifying rape case among men and women, because Brock Turner assaulted that woman while she was passed out on the ground behind a dumpster. And that is a visceral image that most men can point to and say, well, that's bad and I don't do that, so I don't rape women. But that is not how most women experience sexual assault. For starters, most women will be sexually assaulted by somebody that they know. For me, it was a close male friend when I was a teenager. Most women experience sexual assault in the form of a man in their lives being very pushy, sometimes aggressive, and just not taking no for an answer. But men think that if a woman says no 10 times and then finally relents and says yes on the 11th ask, that he did not sexually assault her. But women experience that as a man who did not take no for an answer. What I'm describing is coercion, and that is not a genuine consensual encounter. As a woman, when you're alone with a man and maybe it's getting intimate and he is asking to go further and you're saying no, or not tonight, or I don't want to do that yet, and he keeps asking or keeps touching you, ignoring your clear signals that you do not want to go further, as a woman, that's very scary. You start to wonder, if he's ignoring my no's right now, what's going to happen if I try to physically stop him? What's going to happen if I reject him more aggressively? A lot of women in this situation will just say fine, and they will relent, and they will give you what you want to avoid the situation potentially getting worse or more dangerous or more violent. And that is not consent. In that situation, you have intimidated a woman who did not want to have sex with you into doing something she never wanted to do because you wouldn't take no for an answer and she was scared. And this is the problem, because if you describe that situation to a man, he will not think it's rape. And many of them will get very defensive because they know they've done it before. And that disconnect is why I think this conversation is important. I don't want men to write me off as a man-hating feminist who thinks all men are rapists. What I want is for men to hear this and to realize that some of the strategies that they're using to obtain sex from women is very violating to us, and it does not feel consensual. I want men to expand the definition of rape that they hold in their heads. I want men and women to get on the same page about what we view as consensual sex. And I want men to stop pushing boundaries and violating women because they feel horny. Thank you for listening.